First, I have to capture this sunset so you guys can see it. Like, the view is so cute right now. It's super cute. The sun's going down. Yes. So first and foremost, as you guys may have seen from the view that I showed you, I am not in Ohio anymore, so it's giving tropics, it's giving island girl. So I moved to Hawaii, and honestly, so far so good. I am gonna be serving down here part-time and then in school for esthetician, so I'm very excited about starting that. So I just kind of wanted to like bring you guys on the process with me. So where did I even leave off? Where was my last YouTube video? Like, what was the tea? And where was your hair?
That's the tea. So her. And where's your hair?
Okay, let me see where I left you guys off at. Ooh, 8 months ago. Okay, so whew, I cannot go this long without recording because so much has literally happened. So much happens in a week, let alone 8 months. So, okay, let's hop right into this. 8 months ago, I was still on and off in a very toxic relationship, and I just was feeling very stuck in that relationship. I was just working, I wasn't in school, and I just wasn't really working towards anything else that I felt like was gonna better my life or make me a better person or draw me closer to God. Like, I was just doing the opposite. I started smoking very heavily. I was smoking 24/7, well, not smoking 24/7, but I was pretty much like high 24/7 because being sober just made me feel so depressed, so disgusting, so unattractive. And just like, I don't know, like I started to really hate myself and hate who I was, and like I had really hit a low. Just like growing up, just knowing that I wanted to do more with my life than just work. So it was just like looking kind of scary for me because at this point, like I said, I wasn't in school, I wasn't working towards what I wanted to do. And I was just basically existing, and I was not enjoying it. Like, if you're gonna be alive and existing, like, you should make the most of it, and I wasn't. Yeah, that was a really crazy relationship. It definitely brought me like to a low that I've never been in my whole entire life. I don't really want that to be the focus of the video because so much good has happened since then, but later on, for like educational purposes, I do want to like touch on some things, but just not right now. So yeah, I was just so depressed though, like very depressed. It was bad, but I just started praying and just like calling out to God because that was all I knew to do. Like, I was just so down bad that like the vices weren't cutting it. No matter who I talked to, what I did, who I was with, like I felt alone. I felt unheard. I felt unseen. Like, it's like I could be telling someone, pouring my heart out to them, and they could be listening, and I would still feel so unheard. Like, I don't know. So it was just a really scary point. I like thought that I was gonna be there for the rest of my life. Like, so I was praying, and that's when I started to hear God's voice, and he was just so compassionate and loving, and I don't know, like, I feel like I've never known God the way that I know him now. When I was younger, I knew of God, I knew that I loved him, and I knew that he was great, obviously, but I had no idea, like, the extent of how good and how great God really is. So I was just so down bad, and the reason that, like, I'm locked in with God like this now, and I never not want to be locked in with him, is because when nobody else could pull me out of that situation, God could. Like, when I tell you I was pouring my heart out to people and I was not feeling heard, the only times I was feeling heard was when I was praying or in God's presence. So I used to be like, I don't want to make like devotional videos. I don't really want to, like, that's cringy, that's weird. But if I have something that I know can change your life for the better, like, I'm gonna tell you. Like, why would I keep that to myself? And I feel like I was coming more from like my channel, my thing, mine, where it's like, if God's in the center of it, ultimately, like, it's gonna flourish, it's gonna grow, and you're gonna feel fulfilled. Because still, even YouTubing, I didn't even know like what really I wanted to talk about. Like, obviously fitness, hair, but like, what was the substance? What was, like, you know? So I felt like I was missing that, and it kind of just like made it hard to feel passionate, made it hard to keep going, it made it hard to have a reason to even do it. Because if you're doing it for the views, number one, you're already gonna fall off. If you're doing it for money, like, you know what I mean? Like, if your intentions are not in the right place, it's already just not gonna, you know? It's not gonna fulfill you. Even if I were getting paid like money off of this and not talking about God, like, I would still be searching for something else externally, because happiness is gonna come and go. Like, life is gonna, you know, it's gonna take you on a roller coaster. Like, situational happiness is a thing, but like, the joy and peace that God brings you, it's like inwardly, you just know that no matter what you lose, no matter what happens, you're still gonna be okay, because you know God has your back regardless. So that's kind of what the tea was. It's kind of what the vibes were. So like I said, I was just praying, and that's just how it started off. Like, I would even pray high. Like, it's just, no matter how I came to God, he was always there. Like, it really doesn't matter. Like, you could be drunk, you could be high, you could be like whatever, but he will literally like never turn his back and be like, oh no, I don't want to talk to you. Like, he always wants to hear from us. And I don't know why I'm getting emotional, but it's just like so amazing. Like, I'm not even a friend like that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like, as compassionate and nice and kind as we can be as humans, like, no one and nothing matches up to God. So first, I just wanted to get that out of the way and kind of like touch on that. So yeah, I was praying, and that's when I was like, okay, like, I kind of felt like I wanted to go back to school, and I was praying on it, and I wanted to do esthetician school because I just love skincare. So I was just really praying about like what God wanted for my future, and like things just really fell into place the more I put it in his hands. So fast forward, I don't even know when, but I found the esthetician school that I wanted to attend, and it was in Hawaii, and I was like, what? If I could go there, that would be amazing. I probably can't, like, but that would be cool if I could. But then I like really felt like the Holy Spirit was just like putting it on my heart, like, you can, if you want it, go get it, basically. After that, I started seriously looking into moving, and my job was like, yeah, we can transfer you, because I was talking to them about that, and they said that they could try. And that was a whole process in itself, and it just took a lot of praying and persistency, because it's one thing, like, I feel like a lot of us, and even me, like, I forget that just because God said like he's gonna do this for you, or just because this is God's plan for you, does not mean you're not gonna have to work at it, and doesn't mean that it's not gonna be hard work and it's not gonna take a lot out of you, because it is. Anything in life is gonna be work, but just knowing that you have that peace and you have that strength to keep going even when you're weak is the kind of like difference between being a Christian and like following what God wants versus like leaning on your own understanding and kind of just doing what you can do and with no extra help from God. So I was in therapy at the time still, and I was still like on and off with my ex, but like just not as heavily, like I wasn't as heavily involved in my head. But for me to have still been in contact with him, like I clearly subconsciously just like wasn't ready to let go of whatever my life was or used to be or could have been. But God was just so patient with me throughout the whole process. Like change really is not linear. Like even if like you're growing, you take a dip and then you grow some more, like it's never, I don't want people to get stuck in the valleys. Like you're gonna take dips, life is gonna happen, we're human, we're going to mess up. Christians are gonna mess up. everybody's gonna mess up. That's why we all need God. Like, we're not gonna be perfect. And the thing is, like, I feel like when we mess up, we get stuck there and try to hide, like, oh, like, God didn't know this was gonna happen, he's mad at me. Like, no, he literally knows the mistakes you're gonna make tomorrow, next year, 5 years from now, a decade, like, and he still loves you in spite of all of it. So it's just kind of like, if you know that he is gonna be down for you and ride for you no matter what, obviously don't take advantage of that. Like, God knows your heart at the end of the day. But if you're trying and you slip up, like, at first you don't succeed, dust yourself off and try again. So then after that, word kind of got out at my job that I was trying to transfer to Hawaii, and I'm not gonna lie, that's when it kind of got the most discouraging, when everybody knew, like, when family started to know I was planning on moving, and my coworkers, like, that's when everybody's kind of like outside, you know, like, we're kind of coming at me like, you're not gonna go, like, oh, you really think you're leaving, like, oh wow, like, I could never do that, like, wow, like, you know, you're really gonna move all the way out there by yourself. Like, it was just like, people probably weren't even trying to be negative, but it was negative energy. Like, it was coming out of fear. It wasn't coming from like, wow, like, that's so dope, like, you know, I hope you have, like, you know what I mean? Like, there's a difference between like encouraging and being excited for someone and being fearful and trying to put that fear onto them. So I had to really start praying real hard for myself, because like, the water was starting to get in my boat. Like, I was starting to feel like, who am I to think I could do this? Why would I think I could do this? Why would I think God would do this for me after all that I've done? Like, it was just a whole lot going on in my head. And like, I was applying for apartments, and like, they would be like, no, or they wouldn't reach out to me, or they wouldn't get back with me, or like, it would be impossible for them to like verify income. Like, it was just like so much stuff, and I was just like, God, if this is what you want from me, I'm gonna stick to this. Like, I'm gonna keep moving on faith. Like, faith is a placeholder for the actual thing. If you're not moving on faith, if you just have something that you want to do and you're just like kind of hoping it happens, like, that's not moving on faith, that's just hope. Like, faith is like, you're acting like it's already there, like, you're already, you know what I mean? Like, I was telling people, like, yeah, like, I'm about to find my apartment, I'm about to be out of here. Like, I didn't know when, I didn't know how, I didn't know where, but I knew it was gonna happen. So I was speaking like it was basically already done. So then my lease was up. This is when it got really sticky. This is when it got really rough, really sticky. My lease ended up ending, and I still did not know where I was gonna be living. I couldn't move in with my mom. I didn't have many friends at the time. Still don't have many friends right now, but it was just like, I had to kind of cut out certain people in my life that were like causing me to slip into like who I was, or like, you know, like, I don't know, like, it wasn't even about those people. It's never about, like, you know what I mean? It was more so just for my self-growth. Like, if you notice, you know, we don't even have to touch on that right now, but it's just like, it was a very tough process, and I was definitely in the pruning process where like things were being taken away, people were being taken away, habits were being taken away, just getting snatched up, and I'm just like, what do I do? But at the end of the day, the constant thing was always God. So yeah, so at the end of the day, I'm out here, I'm like, God, I don't know where I'm about to be living. I like had got approved for my job here. I talked to the school and they were willing to accept me and everything. So really all I just needed was a place to stay. So I'm just praying, I'm praying. I ended up moving in with my cousin because my lease was up and I had to stay somewhere. And this apartment, it was like a studio apartment, and they were like, yeah, you got pre-approved. We're just waiting to hear from your employers to verify that you work there and verify your hours, and then you can move in at the end of the month. I think it was the end of September. So I'm like, oh yay, because my lease was up September 19th. My cousin said I could stay with them until the end of the month, or like the beginning of October. So I'm like, this is perfect. ended up moving out. I get there, I'm there for like 2 days. The apartment reaches out to me like, yeah, we can't hold the apartment for you anymore, we still haven't heard from your job, like best of luck in finding a place, like sorry not sorry. I'm like, can you guys hold it, like is there a way that you can, like, I'm trying to really finesse the situation, and they're just like, no. And then it was really weird because at first they were like, you need to have 2.5 times the amount of rent. I'm like, okay, that's kind of a lot, but okay, cool, I got it. Then she switches it up on me and says, actually, you need 5 times the rent. Baby, what? Where you need 5 times the rent at? So there was just already some like weird stuff going on. Then I saw like these other apartments, but I would like have a roommate, but I was like, okay, oh, they're nice, I could see if I get approved or whatever. And I ended up getting approved like the next day, and I didn't have to pay a security deposit. It was cheaper rent, it's way better, it has a gym and a patio and just everything that I was praying for, but I was just in the wrong direction. Like God will never fail to like redirect you, like, you know what I mean? That's why I just wasn't really too pressed about it, because, well, I was pressed, I'm not gonna lie, I was pressed about it, and it was really scary. At the end of the day, God came through, and that was all that I knew he was gonna do. I didn't know how, like I said, I didn't know where, but I knew he was gonna come through. So fast forward, and like, mind you, when I was staying with my cousin and I found out that I didn't get approved for that one apartment, that put me in a really, really bad depression for like 2 whole days. Like, I was stressed. I was like, well, I sold my car. I forgot to put that part in there. I sold my car. Yeah, so I was carless. Basically, like, I had someone to stay with, but it was kind of more of like a couch hopping situation. So I was just like, why did I think I could do this? Like, I should have just stayed where I was comfortable. I had a car, I had a place to live, I have a job. Like, there was nothing wrong with my life. So, you know, but I just wanted more, and change is uncomfortable. It was uncomfortable and it was tough, but I knew that it wasn't gonna last forever, and look, it didn't. So yes, here we are, present day. I think that was a good little summary of it. So here we are, present day. And I'd be lying if I said like it wasn't still a struggle maintaining. Like, any relationship takes work to maintain. Like, just because you and God have like gone from here to here, like, you know what I mean? Like I said, how growth isn't linear. Your relationship with God isn't going to be linear, just like your relationship with anybody isn't going to be linear. Like, there will be times that you don't want to talk to your parents, times you don't want to talk to your cousins, times you don't want to talk to your friends. And believe me, there will be times that you don't want to talk to God. But at the end of the day, it's not about what you feel, because initially I'll be like, oh, like I'll be dragging my feet, oh, like I need to read my Bible. But then the minute I do it, it's just like, why was I fighting this for so long? It's almost like when I want to go to the gym, but it's just like, oh, like I don't feel like getting ready, I don't feel like going there, what do I want to work out today? Like, oh my gosh. But then the minute I set foot in there and then I leave, I'm like, that was great. Like, why was I fighting going there for the longest? So, yeah, let me turn this light on. Oh, I just made it like such bad lighting now, but we're wrapping the video up anyway. Let me turn this light off because I don't like it. But like I was saying, let me see if I can turn my flash on. That helped a little bit. But yeah, like I just wanted to kind of hop on, do an updated. I plan on being more consistent. I do have a lot of change going on with like my new job and like getting enrolled in school and everything. So I am working on some consistency. I don't really have a reason to not be very consistent right now. I've been fighting making this video for the longest because they're just kind of like, who cares? But at the end of the day, like, it's for God, and it's something I'm really passionate about. So like I was talking about before, like not getting caught up in the views. Like, I'm just gonna do what makes me happy, what like put God in the center of everything. And like I mentioned before, it's almost impossible for something to fail with God in it. So this is me just moving on faith already, like I've been doing. It's like really just moving heavily on faith. And it was really scary, like getting on that plane and just knowing that like I was gonna be surrounded by foreign things and people that I did not know. And like, I don't know, it was really scary. And I like miss everyone, you know, obviously, but I feel so much better for it. And I feel like I'm gonna be able to be there so much better for my family because of it. So yeah, I just am very excited for like the videos to come. I'm excited to get to know you all more and for you all to get to know me more as we grow together and learn more together, because I'm not exempt from learning anything from you, just like you're not exempt from learning anything from me. So yeah, if you have any questions for me or anything you want to talk about, you can always DM me on Instagram. Comment down below. My email is always linked. Like, I'm available. So yeah, so I guess without further ado, I'm just gonna close this video out. Thank you for watching. Thank you for the consistent viewers that I do have. Thank you for supporting. I appreciate you, and I look forward to seeing you all in my next video. Bye.